Howdy folks. Well, you can see MrsHCH and I were busy today. We had to go pick up some swag from a auction. It's kind of a hybrid. The auction's actually online, but then local pickup. So one of the better auctioneers, or basically the best auctioneer up here, had one, and it was actually reasonably close to our house. Plus, we got some good stuff. That on the ground you see is, they said it's 3/8, and I haven't put a tape measure on it, so if it's not 3/8, I ain't lying to you, but that's a steel cable. And it's got enough suppleness to it, I believe I can use it for winch cable. Just for scale, that dowel there is a 4-foot dowel. So, I think, should have had my notes ready, and my receipt ready. It says roll of 3/8 cable. I had to give $62 for that with tax, or premium I guess, $62.70, which if you know steel cable, you're right now going, you suck. This large beige item, for those that don't know, is a blueprint file cabinet. These things are very heavy, generally very heavily built, i.e. heavy duty, and boys and girls, brothers and sisters, let me tell you what, they make some awesome freaking toolboxes. Especially if you're a guy that has a lot of block planes and draw knives and other assorted tools like that. I wouldn't load this thing up with, you know, industrial sized box end wrenches or anything necessarily, but they can take a lot of weight. And I think this one with the premium was about 82 bucks. I've seen them sell for, oh boy, a whole bunch higher. This odd looking contraption is a Shop Fox brand tenoning jig. This is designed to be used on a table saw. This part right here goes in the board guide, that, you know, they've got the slots on the table, well, that goes in that. And this is designed to cut the end of a board to cut the tenon part of a tenon joint. I'm blanking on the other part of the name. I keep wanting to say it's mortar and tenon, but that's not right. Mortise. I think tenon and mortise. Anyway, look it up. But these are, I mean, this is one of those things that if you got this, you can do this well and safely. Without it on a table saw, it's a little bit risky. And I was surprised to see they were really proud of these, because brand new this is about just under $300, and out the door it was about $85 with the buyer's premium, so not too bad. It says new. It could be. I think most of what you're seeing is just bad storage. Honestly, the shop we got it out of, or where we went to pick it up, it was uninsulated, just a pole building. So I'm sure condensation and, unfortunately enough, mice were an issue. So I think once it's cleaned up, it'll look almost brand new. One of the neat things is there was actually some contents in the blueprint file cabinet. There's a couple of crates worth, plus there was a pretty good sized stack of I believe they're table saw blades. Now they're all used and in various states, but it's pretty good steel, so I'm not throwing them away or anything. Got a pretty decent looking pipe cutter or tubing cutter. This thing's kind of cool. Unfortunately, it's not in great shape. But this is an old Sears, Roebuck and Company and Sears, or Simpson Sears Limited block plane. I believe the $1.50, I believe $1.59 is the price. And it's a number 9. Looks like the original box. Again, unfortunately, it got a little damp, but overall, it's not in horrible shape, and I believe I can clean the sole up good enough. It's mostly just surface rust and a little bit on the blades. So, and these are really very handy items if you do any kind of woodworking. I don't like sharp corners on my projects, and I've got a newer I think mine's a Stanley, and it's just pressed metal, kind of a cheapo thing, but I use that a lot for chamfering edges on boards and stuff when I do woodworking projects. Got a heck of a pair of tin snips here. Not familiar with the brand. It's Compton, and I think it said it was made in New Jersey. Nice little set of pry bars, a couple of hammers, Stanley, and this one's odd. It looks like it says VLOHEK. Made in USA. If anybody's heard of that brand, I mean, obviously I'm going to look it up too, but yeah, VLOHEK. It could be a C instead of an O, but it doesn't look like a C. There's a little cut right there, but yeah, it doesn't, probably won't be able to see it anyway, but anyway, I'm thinking it's an O. And these, I'm going to have to back up a mite to get them all into the frame, unfortunately. So I don't know if you can hear me way back here, but this, I very much hope turns out to be what it says, which is a pair of railroad tie tongs. These are marked Warren and 82. I don't know if 82 is the model or it's the year they were made. And the name Warren is familiar to me as far as tool companies go, but I don't believe these would have been ice tongs because I don't think they open wide enough, and they do open just about right to grab a railroad tie and do some work on the railroad. So this was pretty darn cool, and I picked these up for, that was about 31 bucks out the door, and it said they had 2 treated deck boards. I don't know who wrote that up because they're clearly 1x6 by 12 foot pine boards, and pretty nice ones at that. So given the street price of wood anymore, I think I paid for half of my darn haul today just by selling those 2. But to me, that's pretty darn cool because it's a railroad collectible and they're in amazingly good shape. Sorry about having to move them around, but I'm afraid if I'm any further back you won't be able to hear my brilliant words. So anyway, oh come on, get them in. They're pretty darn cool. I just thought you guys might like to see these because they're neat collectible. So that's all for now. Hopefully we'll have another auction update here shortly, and I thank you for watching.